Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Here's another article. All right, there's been a lot of articles today, man. This is also in relation to the whole Kerch standoff. All right, it says Atlantic Council says U.S. should send ships to Azov Sea illegally after Kerch standoff. Because and the reason they're asking U.S. is because U.S. is basically considered the big dog, on the side of NATO and so on and so forth. All right, the head of that side against Russia, which would be the head of the other side. Okay, so it says a senior fellow at the pro-NATO Atlantic Council has said the U.S. should send naval ships into the Sea of Azov to guarantee it stays open after a skirmish between Russian and Ukrainian ships. Only problem is that would be illegal. It says Anders Aslund, a Swedish economist who lives in Washington, D.C. and works for the avidly anti-Russia think tank, implored that the U.S. and NATO to react sharply to what he called the illegal Russian blockade of the international Sea of Azov. Now, mind you, this could lead to, because the tensions are so high, all right, that it's just like picture being in a room, all right, full of just gasoline and all of that all over the walls, the floors, everywhere, and you're walking with a candle. That's all you have on a plate. That's how high the tensions are, to the point where even if a tiny flame or a spark drops on the floor, man, it's setting that whole room on fire. That's what it's like right now. That's how high the tensions are. Okay, and it's to the point where there's no going back. Okay, it's inevitable, man. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse. All right. So it says, what is the EU going to do about the illegal Russian blockade of the international Sea of Azov? Instant action is called for. You see, they're pushing. Man, these devils, man, they're pushing for this. It says everything suggests that Russia slowly takes one step after the other to block the Azov Sea off from Ukraine and international shipping. The West and NATO should react sharply before it's too late. But they know that reacting sharply is gonna be World War III. All right, because World War III really it's already begun, but it's gonna be heated up. All right. Heated up to 100 million degrees heated up, all right? Because them nuclear missiles ain't no joke, man. Let the wrong country, quote unquote, so to speak, send off one missile and see how bad things get. All right. So it says Aslund's suggestion came after Russia opened fire on and seized 3 Ukrainian Navy boats on Sunday, accusing them of breaching the Russian maritime border. The Ukrainian vessels were sailing between 2 Ukrainian ports, from Odessa in the Black Sea to Mariupol in the Azov Sea. The only waterway that connects these is the Kerch Strait between Crimea and mainland Russia. Kyiv says it's notified Moscow in advance that its Navy ships would be sailing through the area. Moscow denies that it was given warning. While both Russia and Ukraine have freedom of naval in the Kerch Strait under a 2003 treaty, there are detailed technical rules on how vessels should pass through the narrow, complex waterway. And this is just a disaster waiting to happen. It says all traffic in the area is controlled by the Crimean seaport of Kerch, and every ship should contact the facility, report her route and destination, and receive permission to sail through the strait. Unfortunately for the Swedish economist, though he tweets with all the authority of someone who was on the ships in question himself, it seems he is lacking in the basic knowledge about legality on his proposal. Yeah, because that would be illegal, But I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, because the U.S., man, they don't, especially with Trump as president, they're at the point where they don't even care, man. All right. Luckily, chief foreign affairs, because ultimately you got to keep in mind that these elites are behind it, okay, and they want that war. They want that third world war, so they can completely quote unquote renovate the earth and just have their one world religion, one world order, everything under them. All right, so it says Luckily, chief foreign affairs correspondent for the Wall Street Journal, Yaroslav Trofimov, stepped in to help out, tweeting that aside from the practical risks which might arise from U.S. ships rushing into the Kerfuffle, it would also be illegal without Russian permission. It says, practical risks aside, it would be illegal without Russian permission, according to the 2003 treaty between Russia and Ukraine that declared Azov is to be internal waters and only guaranteed freedom of navigation for Russia and Ukraine military vessels. Going on, all right, it says, Trofimov, these weird names, man, cited in 2003 treaty between Russia and Ukraine, which declared the Azov Sea is to be internal waters, and which only guarantees freedom of navigation for Russian and Ukrainian military vessels. There is a practical problem with the proposal as well. The Azov Sea is simply too shallow. U.S. Navy's Arleigh Burke class destroyers have a draft of 9.3 meters, 30 feet, while the average depth of the Azov Sea is only 7 meters, 23 feet, with the deepest point being twice that. Aslan, who frequently raises eyebrows among more knowledgeable Russian expert and his own for his dramatic hot takes on Twitter, also compared the incident to Adolf Hitler's invasion of Poland, and what we know what that led to. All right, so the complexities are of reality are unlikely to. It says he also claimed that a quiet response to the incident from U.S. Officials meant that President Donald Trump must have strictly ordered U.S. U.S. officials not to speak about it. And then it just goes on. It says, oh man, did you look at that, man? They always plotted something, man. All right, so basically you just have people tweeting about it, and giving their opinions on it, man. But we all know what this is gonna lead to, all right? Because we're at the point, man, where it's inevitable. All right, it's inevitable, and we're seeing it every other day. There's something pursuing a prophecy taking place. All right, so hey, man, just be prepared and keep your eyes open, okay? Because this is not any joke, man. We're talking about a third world war. All right, the war of Armageddon. Okay, the end all be all. And it's right at the door. Okay, so Lowell in this video is edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Until next time, Shalom.